Welcome to Spirits and Supernatural. I'm Dawn.
I'm Jenny.
I'm Theresa.
We have our friend Theresa back, and we have an extra special guest today. I'm really excited. Ray is joining us. She is coming from Nashville, Tennessee. Well, no, she didn't come up here. She's zooming in from Nashville, Tennessee. I met Ray at the X's premiere in Novi, Michigan. We just had a little chat and found out that she is a musician and she has written songs about our show. Not our podcast, our show, Supernatural.
You should write a song about our podcast.
Yes.
I've never met you. Hi, Ray.
Hi, I could definitely do that. I would love to. That would be so much fun.
We would use your jingle. That would be amazing. We would love it.
That would be a lot of fun.
Brilliant.
So thank you for joining us, Ray.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited. So this episode, we are going to be discussing the music of Supernatural. We're also going to be discussing some of the songs that Ray has written, her own personal works of musicianship.
That's a big word.
I would have just said works of art, but okay.
Hey.
And I've not even heard them. But
We're fancy.
You gotta be more specific, you know?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about, we'll talk about 3 of her songs. She has 5 that you've released that are available on Spotify.
Yes.
And I think do you have a new one coming out like pretty soon?
I had an album come out this year that's not related to Supernatural. That's for my band, Sandra's Sister. But I'm currently trying to start working. It's been a really long time since I've touched the Supernatural perspective stuff. Just life and everything. I started when I was 15, and so it's been almost 10 years now. So
she's a baby.
I was going to say, my goodness, she is a baby.
We just had a conversation about how the fandom is a widely diverse group, and that includes ages.
Mm-hmm.
She's younger than my children.
Oh, yes.
She's a baby.
Widely diverse group.
Are you 25 yet?
I'm 24. I'll be 25 in March.
My baby's 25. He'll be 26 in March.
Baby's 29.
You can just call me Mama.
Yes.
But anyhow, sorry. Go on.
Oh, no, totally. But I do have, I'm hoping that the next project that we release is an album that I'm wanting to call Wayward Sisters.
Yes.
That will just be songs all about or from the perspectives of the female characters in Supernatural.
Oh,
cool.
Fun.
I love it.
So Dawn is, because this is still spirits and Supernatural, Dawn is mixing up a drink. You want to tell us what that drink is, Dawn?
So this is a drink that Jenny found, surprise, surprise, called a Boulevardier. It's a fancy, fancy name for 3 liquors.
Yeah, and Theresa can say why I chose that one.
Because it's in a song that Steve sings, and Jensen's the one who gave him the idea.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's a radio company song.
It's in Different Town.
Yeah.
Steve's Different Town song.
Which I love. Even though Jensen doesn't really sing in it, it's a great song.
Yes.
So
I'm mixing both of them at the same time. But for one, it's going to be a half ounce of bourbon, 3/4 an ounce of, the original recipe calls for Campari, but we opted for Aperol because it's less bitter, and 3/4 ounce of Vermouth. Campari is a citrusy.
I said it's very bitter is
herby,
what I said.
Yeah.
we don't.
Liquor.
Jenny doesn't like bitter.
No, so I'm going to put some simple syrup in there too. And vermouth, which Jenny doesn't like wine, and vermouth is like a fermented wine, so.
Yeah, Dawn is very sweet and kind to allow me all the sweet drinks that we do, because she would prefer more of a bitter or
more of an alcoholic drink?
Flavors. I can say words. I like soury flavors. I don't mind a bit of a bitterness to my drink, but when I saw this, I was like, Jenny, you're not going to like it.
Yeah, it's true.
I did. I told you that.
But we had to do it because we're talking about the music of Supernatural and all those.
Yes.
And Steve actually did have some songs, at least 2, I think, in Supernatural. I don't have them written down, of course, because that would require preparation. And
that's not your job. That's mine.
That's right. But I did want to say, I listened to your songs, Ray. You've released 5 that are available on Spotify. I did listen. I think I listened to all 5 of them, but I definitely listened to the 3 that you recommended. They were called My Own Life, Yellow Eyes, and Demon Inside.
I would like to start out with, you have a beautiful voice.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
You're so talented. And what is interesting to me about your works is that they were all very different vibes.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you feel as an artist that you want to, do you feel like you want to ever focus in on a type of genre and stick with that? Are you trying to find your voice, or are you happy with doing the different? Do you understand what I mean by the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, definitely. It's kind of, I think it's a balancing act a little bit. I think as an artist, I just kind of write or work on what comes to me. So certain songs will come up and that's just how they sound, right? Like that's just the sound of that song. But I think, music is what I want to do. And so in pursuing that and trying to make a career with that, it's definitely important to find a particular sound that you can market or brand in different areas like that. In my personal music, I think I have come to something that's a bit more of a consistent sound. It still has that variation that I think will just always be a part of my music. Mm-hmm. But I also think with this project in particular of Supernatural Perspectives, it really lends itself to differing sounds because we're playing with different characters. Two of those songs, actually, I co-wrote with my dad. Demon Inside and Yellow Eyes, I co-wrote with my dad. Demon Inside was the first one we wrote together. It was off the EP. Yellow Eyes came out later. But my dad actually came to me with the idea and was like, hey, I know you're doing this supernatural stuff. I have this idea, because I got my parents really into the show.
Yes.
And I introduced it to them. So he was like, hey, I have this idea. He wrote the chorus, and then I was in the shower one day, wrote a verse, and then we sat down and in 30 minutes had a song.
That's so cool.
And then Yellow Eyes was also my dad's idea, actually. He was like, what if we did this big band song that had, and I felt like it really kind of captured the vibe, that just taunting vibe of the Yellow-Eyed Demon. And so it kind of varied. And then my own life was specifically from Sam's perspective at the very, very beginning of the show. And that's obviously a very different vibe from singing about being possessed or being the taunting demon. So yeah, it just kind of, because it's varying on characters, I think, again, the project itself really lends to that varying of styles and genres. I do want things within this project to feel like something you might hear in the show. Mm-hmm. So kind of having that rock basis, that classic rock origin, or starting point, if you will. Currently, the first song for the Wayward Sisters album that I've been working on is for Charlie, and I really want that to sound like Walking on Sunshine and have that kind of vibe, because that's her intro song, sure. Right? So they're all kind of varying. Rowena's song is definitely going to have a different vibe from those, so it's with this project in particular, it's easy to be varied because of the characters are varied and they have their own vibes and their own sounds. But to answer your question in a very long-winded way, as I am one who to talk quite a bit, in my personal music and just kind of outside of the show, I definitely have kind of, I think, come more to a unified sound. Mm-hmm. But that variance, I'm such an eclectic music lover. I love so many things that I think that variance will always just kind of hold within me in some form or fashion. So
I'm just going to give my hot take real quick on the 3 songs, especially that you wanted us to listen to.
I'm going to counter your takes. Let's go.
So I don't think you're going to counter. I think you'll agree with me. Okay, so Demon Inside, I'll start with that one. When that one started, I immediately thought of Queen. It made me think of, the rock Queen vibe, and even kind of the chanting then with the demons. And it made me think of Bishop Briggs. Do you know who she is?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
I love her.
Yeah.
And so I also asked my daughter, who's huge into all kinds of music, I had her listen to it. And her first thing she said was, that one feels like the show.
Mm-hmm.
That one feels like Supernatural.
Yes.
And it had like a bio vibe to it.
Yeah.
So what is your counter?
What is a bio?
Like the
Bayou?
Bayou, like in the Louisiana Bayou.
Yeah. No, mine's not. I guess it's not even a counter to that. I don't have that many things written down.
What?
I know
I
words.
had more notes than you.
You did, apparently.
Reverse.
I definitely thought it was very soulful, which I think complements your like very Bayou, like Southern kind of feel. I almost thought it was like a choir, like a hymn-ish feel. I don't know.
Except it's like demons chanting.
Yeah, I don't know, like this gospel.
Sort of.
I just wrote, I like the O background. So that part. I'm not good at saying
Very
all
technical.
the words sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, it was really like soulful, and it was very obvious, like from the start, like this song is about being possessed and like that whole process and the deep feeling of it, and I liked it.
So how do we do?
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate those observations. I mean, that was definitely what I was going for. Like I said, that song in particular, my dad actually brought me the idea, and we wrote that one together, which is especially hilarious because my dad absolutely hates blues. But he really likes that song. But he brought the concept, and we worked on it together. And I was really proud of the lyrics. I'm very much a lyric person. I like trying to tell the stories with lyrics, and if I have like even one little lyric that I'm like, that just doesn't sound amazing, it really bothers me. And sometimes it even bothers me in like popular songs that I love.
That's not what I would have done.
Yeah. Well, in like, man, you could have workshopped that lyric just a little longer or something like that. It's interesting too, though, because I'm surrounded by people, like a friend of mine who I work with who actually played guitar on that song. He is the opposite. He doesn't even hear the lyrics. Like he doesn't know any
sense.
lyrics.
Yeah.
It's all the music. And so I think having that balance is really nice, though, because if I were just focused completely on the lyrics all the time, then the music wouldn't necessarily have that feel that it needs. That song in particular, I am actually really proud of my dad and I both, because my dad is my partner in Supernatural Perspectives. He's the music producer and plays most of the instruments. We'll occasionally bring in other people to play, but so it's really Supernatural Perspectives is my dad and I as a team.
I love that. I absolutely love that. That's so cool.
My dad and I are very close, and it's a lot of fun to be able to work with him on that. But yeah, I guess to try and wrap up my ramblings, if you will, that was the goal of that song, was to capture what apparently it captured. Thank you. I'm glad that it worked.
We passed. Yay.
Yay.
No, I'm glad that it actually invokes that vibe, and to hear you say that it sounded like the show that's exactly what we wanted, and something that you could hear in the show, something that you could be like, I feel like I'm watching Supernatural right now. So that was always the goal, and so it's really nice to hear that we achieved it. So thank you.
And then for Yellow Eyes, it definitely has a jazzy vibe, total jazz. And it was very, I think, can't remember the word you used, but it was the word that came to my mind when I listened to it. I don't know why I forgot to write it down, but it was it's like the Yellow Eyes. He was being very enticing, like very,
like
alluring and drawing you in, and then he's gonna get you.
The first thing that I thought was like, it feels very sultry, like he is trying to entice you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That tantalizing, I think, was the word I used.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely kind of, I mean, that was one of the ideas I got from Azazel, that I think the actor who portrayed him did such a fabulous job showcasing, was that he's trying to draw Sam in. He's trying to he's trying to convince him that this is going to be a great thing for him, that this is what he wants, that this is what he's made for. He's trying to entice him with that idea of being a part of something and not feeling like the freak, you know? And so, and Azazel is just a very taunting character as well, you know, like when he's talking to Dean, he's constantly taunting him, trying to pick at his insecurities and break him down. And so that was kind of the vibe that just kind of naturally came out with this. And I think that like Van Morrison jazzy vibe was really important to kind of capturing that taunting. And that like, all right, come and get me. See if you can. I've been around for a really long time.
Yeah.
I'm good, you know? So, of course, we know he wasn't because Sam and Dean are the best. But
Yes. I had kind of, when I was listening to that, had this like mental picture of one of those like lounge singers because they always sing those songs that are like
Sultry.
a little, yeah, they're sultry. They're like, you know, dancing on the edge of actually saying the thing. That was the image that I had, and I think you're right, and that like that's how Azazel is. He knows how to like schmooze and say the thing and catch you to do what he wants. And
Yeah,
I definitely got that like immediately in this song.
Yeah.
That was the first one I listened to, and I was like, oh, okay, with the voice and the way you sang in that one, because it is more of like a jazzy kind of feel. It's kind of different than all of the other ones, at least in this project, this part.
No, definitely, it is a different kind of vocal style. I really struggled with the vocal on that song. There were some moments where it just wasn't sounding how I wanted it, and I ended up having my vocal coach at the time come out while we were recording and kind of help me tweak little pieces of it. So I'm actually really proud of the vocals in that song just because of how much effort it was. Usually vocals are pretty easy for me. Like I've been singing my whole life. It's what I do. And my parents will tell everyone that the Demon Inside vocal was one take when I was 16. And they're like, my mom will go off about, I was in the kitchen making dinner and she went to lay down a scratch vocal. And I was like, oh my God. So usually vocals are pretty quick, like pretty simple for me. But that one was challenging. It was challenging to get the right sound, and on certain notes, like when it goes higher and there's a little more belt to it, and trying to keep that sultry sound without going brighter. And it was definitely a challenge. And so I ended up bringing in my vocal coach, and she sat with me while we were recording and helped me tweak little things on each part to finally get that take that I liked.
Would you feel like that one was even more rewarding then because it wasn't one take, it was something you really had to work at to get?
Yeah, definitely. I'm much more proud of that because of that, because of the effort it took.
So then the last one I listened to, actually it was the first one I listened to, was My Own Life, which is based on Sam. And the way this one starts, and as I talked to my daughter too, but the one lyric that I thought was perfect was older brother who's daddy's little soldier and I'm just daddy's little pain in his side. I really like that lyric.
Yeah.
And then as my daughter and I were talking, she's like, how this song starts off is kind of like emo Sam, kind of like, you know, he's emotional. I don't want to have to do this. I'm being drugged back into it. And then as the song develops, it goes from moody to maturing and like Sam's acceptance of what's going on. I mean, it really does a whole journey and in a 3-minute song. Anyhow,
I like that. No, that's great. I thought it was particularly interesting. I thought this song had a very like 90s kind of alternative sound.
Yeah.
Which seems so appropriate because that's really when Sam would have been growing up, because he was born in like the early
83.
Yeah, there you go. He would have been like kind of growing up then, and that would have been like the music he would have listened to at the time. So for it to sound, or would have been kind of popular, for it to sound that way felt very appropriate.
Yeah, thank you. I think that just kind of came naturally. That wasn't necessarily a distinct choice in the sound, like the sound on Demon Inside or Yellow Eyes. Those were choices. We went in with like, this is what we're going for. I think that it came more naturally on this song because we went in with the like idea of, okay, this is going to be a rock song. It's supernatural. It's the boys. It's got to have some sort of rock element to it, right? And then I think there was also a natural element of just what the music I listen to and enjoy, and my dad coming from like a background of 80s music and kind of the meeting of those sounds, and then also just the nature of the content of the song, like what you're talking about. It starts off very emo Sam. That is very accurate. It is very emo Sam, and so I think that kind of naturally brought that sound to it. I was honestly off the first EP before we did Yellow Eyes. That was the song I am most proud of and love the most. Demon Inside is a phenomenal song and I'm really happy with it, but My Own Life, it was just me. Like, I wrote that song, that was just me. And it's the one I'm most happy with. I feel like it's pretty catchy and I enjoy that about it. It makes me happy. My best friend, Ashes, she'll come sometimes to the cons with me. I recently finally got her to watch the show. It took forever, but I wore her down. And now she's just as obsessed. But I'll hear her humming that occasionally, and it makes me smile. But that song, what I did when I was writing these songs, specifically the ones about from Sam and Dean's perspective, was I sat down and I watched the first half of season 1. Essentially the 2005 half of season 1. Mm-hmm. And I took a ton of notes. I took so many notes, capturing like, okay, how did they phrase this? How was this? What is he saying here? And because I really wanted, because the original idea for this was I would do a couple of songs for each half of each season and go through and do, okay, where are Sam and Dean in this moment? How are they feeling? How can I capture that? Are there some other characters that are brought in, right? Is Bobby in now and a little more intense as a character, and kind of going through that and like, what are they feeling right now? And so that was kind of trying to capture essentially Sam's feelings in that first half of the show, the first half of season 1. Like, what is he dealing with? What's he going through? And it's a lot. He's dealing with a lot at that point. I mean, he's always dealing with a lot, let's be honest, but especially then. And so that was just kind of writing that down and trying to figure out, okay, following essentially the order in the story of that part of the show, where's he coming from, where's he starting, and then at that point in the middle, he's kind of like built up this like, okay, let's freaking do it. Let's go. Mm-hmm. And like, we're going to make it work. I'm going to avenge Jess. I'm like, we're going to find Dad. We're going to get this go, So I'm glad that the story progression shows in the song and that it comes across, because I think that's important, especially to Sam's character at that point, that's what he's dealing with, and that's his growth through that is so important. And thank you for mentioning that line. I was particularly proud of that line.
That's so cool.
I'm really happy with it.
So good. I'm so glad. I feel like, Dawn, I think we did good. We understood. We're understood
like
the music.
Professional music critics now.
Sure we are.
They're so encouraging.
So we're going to take just a little break to do our drink real quick.
Mm-hmm, which is real simple. So, yeah, we're going to give it a try here. So I put a little simple syrup in Jenny's and not in mine because I want to, I don't know, see what it's like before I add sugar to it.
I forgot to pour you some.
Would you like to try this?
Do you want a new one? Wow, that's really good.
Okay, there's a little bitterness, which yours probably is less bitter because of the simple.
Because of the simple syrup. I
can
think it's
definitely
really
taste
good.
all the flavors in there. It's not like overwhelmingly bourbon.
What do you think?
It's not.
That's really good.
It is good.
I like it.
I don't like bourbon, so. Yeah.
Jensen has good taste.
Surprise.
I'm not surprised. So what was the title of this drink again?
The Boulevardier.
And Theresa, would you like to tell the masses of people that are listening, well, my mom, why we chose this drink?
We already did that.
I thought we did that before we started recording. Honestly, I forgot it was while we were. Let's start talking about. Anyhow, Ray.
Well, I didn't want to be left out, so I went across the street and I got a Smirnoff Ice.
Look, yay!
I've never had before.
Why is it empty?
It's just as classy.
Why is it empty?
It's not.
Did you just drink it on your way home?
It happens
Teasing.
to actually match like the color of the wall behind you.
It does
I'm
match.
teasing.
She's here for the color.
I told you I was going to make snarky comments.
Everybody needs the snarky comment person. You're this podcast's Rich. There you go.
Well, that's usually my job.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I'm the note taker, so I'm the one with the dumb notes. Too.
Yeah, she's Rob. I'm Rich.
Don's dumb notes. There
Exactly.
You go.
I have a notebook with that on it.
That's amazing.
Anyhow, so let's talk a little bit about the music of Supernatural.
I have to assume, and tell me if I'm wrong, Ray, that you're probably a fan of the music of the show, or you at least pay attention to it as a musician.
I am a massive fan of the music of the show. I totally grew up with the classic rock, and that was most of what I listened to as a kid, except for the other stuff that I would listen to. I know, I'm sorry, it is classic rock, but
No, they're just talking about how young you are.
I just said, but you're a baby.
You're a baby.
I am.
She was listening to classic rock and, I don't know, Barney. That's what she grew up listening to.
Well, actually, I listened to Cat McCool and Company because my dad was actually a children's entertainer in the 90s and did Cat McCool and Company was a children's rock band. So.
I've never heard of that.
And then my sister is 10, 11 years older than me. So I was 7 and she was going off to college. But so I then also listened to a lot of the 90s, early 2000s pop punk and emo stuff from her. But oh yes. But I got a lot of that classic rock from my parents, and that was what I grew up listening to, and I loved it. My dad is a big prog fan, so fan of Kansas and Styx and Rush and all those bands. And my mom is, as she would say, an original headbanger. So she's a total metalhead. And so that a lot of the music, like, I was already familiar with. And so it felt just as kind of nostalgic to me watching the show as it would to anyone else. It is really funny, though, because I started watching the show on Netflix. I started in 6th grade. I was 12, and the boy I liked introduced me to it. Mm-hmm. It was after school program, and we were sitting, and I was so cool. I had a tablet, and it had Netflix on it. And I was like, we're waiting for our parents. What should we watch on Netflix? And he goes, oh, you should check out this show, Supernatural. And I was hooked. And on
that's
the show,
my
obviously.
favorite getting into this show story. Like most people, it's like, oh, my friend, I couldn't watch it because my kids were too young. This is like my crush was like, hey, let's watch this show in the gym before our parents pick us up. I love that so much.
And
so cute.
It's especially funny too because we were at Catholic school.
Oh wow!
They had Dean and Sam dressed up like priests, so it tracks.
There are nuns
it
and
works.
priests and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it was really
There
funny.
were angels and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's religious. We're good. It's all fine. No, but watching that first episode on a tablet in the middle of a Catholic school and kind of being like, oh, maybe I should like hunt. None of the teachers walk by.
Did you feel scandalous?
Felt like you were doing something wrong.
Rebel.
I was such a bad girl, such a rebel. But yeah, I was hooked. I just kept watching the show and I fell in love with it. So the first season, which I'm sure y'all know, on Netflix doesn't have the original music.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible.
So, and I guess I never realized that. So I didn't realize that until actually maybe about a year ago now when I was finally introducing my friend to the show and she was watching it on Plex. And I guess on Plex it does have the original music.
Okay.
But we're sitting there and we're watching the first episode because I was visiting her. She lives in Savannah. And she was like, but I want to watch the first episode with you before I start watching the whole show. So we sat down, we were watching the first episode, and it gets to the moment where they are pulling away from the gas station and Back in Black starts playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. Because I always thought it was funny that it wasn't a classic rock song like that it was something random. But I always assumed it was because they had such a small budget at the beginning.
Yeah. They blew their budget on music for a long time.
And
yeah.
So and when I found that out, I was like, holy crap. And so now I have to go back and rewatch season 1 on my DVD set. And but that was pretty wild. But so it's kind of interesting how much I love the show and the music of it, and then I've spent so long and I've never even seen the first season properly. Like, I was like, oh my god.
Okay, but honestly, I was in the same boat. I had no idea that the music wasn't like the whatever intended until we were we like have a group that we watch together, and we're all chatting on Messenger, and people were saying that, and I was like, what
are you talking about?
But you watched it originally in 2005, right?
So, yeah, but I didn't pay that much attention.
That was 20 years ago.
I am not a person who pays a lot of attention to the music in a show unless it's, like, intentionally part of, like, the scene. I'm just like, oh, that's for the background. At least I try to pay more attention now, but let's be honest, I'm probably crocheting while I'm watching something, so who knows what I'm actually paying attention to.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, a little piece of knowledge for y'all when it comes to music in movies and TV shows. You have what's called diegetic and non-diegetic music. And I sometimes mix them up, but diegetic music is music that is within the context of the scene. So if the characters are hearing the song, that's diegetic. Non-diegetic is music that we're hearing that the characters are not hearing. That's a fun little trivia fact for you.
We're being educated today.
Yeah, we learned lots of words today, but that makes a lot of sense because sometimes the music is really just for the audience.
It's just for the audience.
Yeah.
And other times it has something to do. My immediate thought is the movie 1408, which I don't know if any of you have ever seen. It's like a horror film. This guy I think he goes to investigate this haunted hotel room.
Is that Jim Carrey?
No.
No. Okay.
No, that's the number 23.
Oh, okay.
That's a different one.
Yeah.
The whole thing is the guy kind of gets like stuck in this room, and there's this Carpenter song that always plays on the alarm clock at the same time, and it's something that the character does experience versus something that's just again supposed to be like the background, and stuff that we think of as the background is like the soundtrack to like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
Sure.
Like we know the Imperial March,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that Vader is not like play my march over the PA right now,
Yeah, well, that's a great example. I've never actually seen 1408, but I know of it. Another great example of that kind of similar use is Groundhog Day, which they then mimicked in, oh god, the alcohol is kicking in.
Mystery Spot.
Mystery Spot. Yeah.
I was
Like,
panicking too. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I was like, I promised I'm a fan. But they, like in Groundhog Day, every day he wakes up to the same song. And then they did that with Heat of the Moment and Asia in Mystery Spot, which I now have an alarm that is Heat of the Moment playing over and over again, and Sam and Dean talking in Mystery Spot. That's what wakes me up.
Rise and shine, Sammy. Yep.
Yep.
Rise and shine.
Sammy. So that's a great example of diegetic music and how, and often you'll hear a song will start like on the radio in a scene, and then like we'll pull out of the car and suddenly it fills the sonic field and it's not in the radio anymore. Yeah, I think the music in the show is so ingrained and such a part of not just the vibe of the show, but like getting to know the characters and the world and just, setting the tone of what's going on and who these people are. But I have to say, I think the first moment that I really, really noticed the music, I mean, I've always noticed the music just because I'm a music nerd, but the first moment that I was like, oh my God, I think I might have even paused it, was Styx Renegade.
Yes.
The best.
Yeah.
That moment just the editing choice of it when they pause it,
Yes.
and they're just like, we're so screwed. And it's, no, the jig is like, and it's, oh my God, it was so perfect. Like, that moment has always stuck with me and is just a perfect example of using that and bringing in like how the editors can impact it and how you can use a song and manipulate it to fit into what you're doing. And just because the use of that pause.
Iconic.
Yes.
It's the best.
It's
absolutely
we
iconic.
talked about that in our Reflections episode.
Yeah.
The way that they shot, it makes it even more powerful to use the music
100%.
in that way.
So perfect.
Yeah, and I actually, for a while, I was really interested in being a music supervisor for film, which is kind of the person who goes out and gets the licensing and finds these songs to use in episodes. The inspirations behind me wanting to do that were that moment, and then the use of Mr. Sandman and Deadpool in the torture scene. But like those having moments like that when everyone notices, like that is a moment that I feel like I have heard so many people talk about that aren't necessarily music people that are gonna know, you know, and so to have a moment like that transcends just the people who have an interest in that particular thing. Like everyone can be like, oh my gosh, yes, that moment was amazing. The music in that moment, the way they used it was so good. And they don't even have to be a music nerd, you know? It's similar with Death's introduction with Oh Death. Like those moments that just stand out musically that everyone's like, I don't even have to know what I'm talking about. That was fucking awesome. Like, you know? So
I think a lot of that comes from the fact that music is something that is universal. Like every culture has it or some form of it, and it inherently, by the nature of music being what it is, like connects to us. Like we feel it, and it invokes emotion in the way that it's used. And people who are super smart know all the words to explain what that is, but I think that that's what it is when you know what that song invokes, and you know the like atmosphere you want to create for the scene, and being able to pair those together is excellent.
Well, and it's so interesting, the things that are so ingrained in us that we don't necessarily think about, right? Because you have those moments where like you feel what's happening in the scene, but you're not really paying attention to the score, but it's still making you feel that emotion. You're paying attention to everything else, and that's what it's supposed to be doing. Listening to Rob and Rich's podcast, and they've been bringing in Michael Lachey to talk about the sound editing. Oh my God, it's so interesting to me, and I love all the clips he brings, and the fact that he has access to that still, and he's bringing all this stuff and just going through it detail by detail, and how just the choice of the EQing on the air conditioning sound changes whether it's suspenseful or benign or like a happy moment or which, let's be honest, there aren't many happy moments in the show, but like the kind of laying that groundwork, and it's literally just whether or not there's a low end or a high end to the air conditioning sound, but it fuels how we're feeling as an audience, and I find that so fascinating, and
it really is,
it's so cool, like how that stuff works, and you don't think about it until it's not there or somebody tells you about it, right? Like you'll watch a movie that doesn't necessarily, or a show that doesn't have that same production value or budget, and it's missing those things, and you're like, I don't know what it is, but something's missing here. Like it just doesn't seem right. It's not hitting, and then you don't notice it, but you notice it, you know? It's so interesting. I'm such a nerd too,
It's great.
It's really true though. There's like, I have this list earlier today. I scrolled through the Supernatural wiki that had a list of every song in every episode. It was like, this is the episode, these are the songs they used. And I just wrote down ones that like really stood out to me. Don't Fear the Reaper in the episode Faith.
Yeah.
Like, perfect. If
and
you
again,
were,
that
like,
wasn't the original song if you watched it on Netflix.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the song that was on it if you watched it on Netflix.
Yeah.
That
How
was the original
iconic.
song.
Go ahead.
No, I think it's gone back and forth because I was thinking about that one in particular. When I saw it, they had that. I don't know what happened, but I remember watching it with that song on Netflix. And then I came back to it and it was different. So I don't know what happened there, but I did watch it with Don't Fear the Reaper because that was a very iconic moment, and I remember it.
Legality thing with Netflix.
Yeah, who knows?
I feel like I remember watching it with the right things, and then at some point it changed, and I'm not attentive enough to notice those things. It changed. Yeah, it changed.
Yeah, because I came back to it and I was like, "That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. No, no."
There are other songs that just become like iconic songs of the show. Like we all know "Eye of the Tiger." We know that whole scene. We know that whole episode. "Carry On, My Wayward Son" from Kansas has become like the theme and the anthem. At every con, at the end of karaoke, they end with everybody singing that.
But in season 1, it was the penultimate episode. It wasn't the final episode. Yeah.
Which is interesting. Like that song becomes so iconic that not only do we hear it at the finale of every season, we have the musical episode Fan Fiction where they have another version of it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't write this down, but if I'm remembering right, there's a couple of women who are musicians, and they wrote a version of that was in the finale.
That's in the finale.
When Dean's
driving.
The fact that they used a literal fan version for that, and that song being so iconic for the whole show.
And then there's Brie and Billy's version that they do at Saturday Night Special.
I haven't heard that one live. I would love to.
There's just a lot of things that, like, if I say "Poison" by Belle Biv DeVoe, everybody immediately goes
Thinks
Garth.
of Garth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. There are certain songs. The thing that I found funny as I was scrolling through this list is the one song attributed to Rowena is like the Scotland anthem. Okay. I forget what it's called, but every time something about the Highlands.
Blair. It's are you thinking of? Or it's "You take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland before
something. I can't remember exactly, but every time it was that song and it was Rowena, and like that kind of becomes like her theme. Like she's humming it, or it's like playing somewhere or something, and it becomes her theme. And there are just these songs that we like all immediately. I particularly find it super amusing that they have "Shake It Off" in the one episode where Dean is like, "Why do I like this song?" After he But so much that like these songs become like iconic, and then they have that emotional connection, and we forever remember them as what was that?
Night Moves.
Night Moves. I think Jenny and I have determined that "Baby" might be our favorite episode, or at least it's mine.
Oh, it's up there for sure.
Absolutely.
100%.
There's so many things about it, but like "Night Moves," iconic.
Yeah, that is a great moment.
And not only did they use songs, a lot of their episode titles were song titles. And the song didn't necessarily make it into the show. And I'm assuming it was
because they never had Zeppelin rights.
They never had a Zeppelin song. Although do you know what Dean's 2 favorite songs were?
Yes.
Say them.
Rambling On.
And Riverside Traveling Blues.
Yeah.
Riverside Roadside. Yeah.
Which were both Zeppelin songs, but Zeppelin never made it.
They couldn't afford Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Until the Winchesters.
Well, Zeppelin actually, fun fact, for a really long time, never allowed their music to be in any films or TV shows. I think
it was a band thing.
Yeah, I think one of the first films that got rights to use Zeppelin was School of Rock with Jack Black, which is a great movie. And
I love that movie.
Times as a kid. Oh, I wore my parents out on that one. That was every morning at 7 a.m. Let's get up and watch School of Rock.
I love it. My son loved it too.
Oh, it's such a good movie. But yeah, that was one of the things they've talked about in the behind the scenes on that movie was really, really having to fight to get Led Zeppelin in the film. And now they've kind of opened up more and are doing that more, and we get them in Thor Ragnarok and, other things. But Zeppelin, it is interesting because Zeppelin is Dean's favorite band, and we talk about them a lot throughout the show, but we never actually get a Zeppelin song, which is kind of sad. But also, I feel like it works. I don't feel like there's ever a moment where you miss it per se. like as you're watching the show. I'm looking back, you're like, man, wouldn't that have been awesome?
Yeah.
But like they do such a phenomenal job of finding the songs that really work. And
Well, David Bowie, you know, in
oh my
Clap Your
God.
Hands
Yeah.
If You Believe. I mean, that was huge. Huge.
So good.
Yeah.
And I think two moments that I feel like musically don't necessarily get talked about as much. One that I'm sure does is in Swan Song, Rock of Ages. Just the
Dean coming into this is very-
That's my favorite Def Leppard song. It always has
Oh.
been since I was in high school.
and it's such a great choice because it's kind of an odd choice.
Yeah.
But it's so Dean, and that's a diegetic moment, right? Because he pops in the cassette tape
yeah.
and like, and it's such a Dean thing to do, though, to like play that song as he rolls up
Yeah.
on Michael and Lucifer. And then one that I really liked was the Well-Respected Man in, gosh, alcohol, bro.
That the Winchesters when they were in the, you know what it is. I know what it is.
Alcohol, man.
I know it's getting me. For
I have
sure.
no
It's
idea
the
what
one-
either of you are talking about.
It's,
So
you're going to dress up like them. You're going to dress up like Smith and Wesson.
okay,
Yeah,
That
yeah.
episode.
What's
The opening with, is that the opening?
It's a
with
Terrible
Dean?
Life.
It's a Terrible Life. Thank you. Yep.
Yes.
I love that
And it
episode.
opens, yeah, and you've got
Yeah.
Dean gets in the car, and like, and while he's getting ready, they've got the Kinks' Well-Respected Man playing.
Yeah.
And then he turns on the radio and it's rock for a minute, and he's like, oh, and turns
Yeah.
it to NPR.
Talk radio. Yeah.
Yeah, and goes, but like all through that, it's Well-Respected Man playing, and that's the opening of the episode. And the song, I think what's so perfect about that particular song choice is it is technically a rock song. That's like that's like 60s rock, right? It's early rock and roll. So it's rock and it fits, but at the same time, it's just off enough. It's not the rock we expect from Sam and Dean. So not only does that song work from a content perspective, you know, talking about the man going to his 9 to 5 every day and being a well-respected man about town,
Yeah.
but it's also sonically kind of, you immediately from the start are like, okay, something's off, right? Not just from what Dean's doing, but from what you're hearing. You're like, okay, this isn't quite right. What's going on here? What is this? It's such a perfect choice for opening that and getting you into that moment and just starting you right away with that, huh?
it just puts you off a few degrees
Yeah.
enough to know that something
wrong.
is different
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, something's off, and it keys you in immediately. That's one I don't think gets talked about.
I liked, and it's not classic rock at all. In the episode Tombstone, They Call Me Zombie, the girl that's like so it's the one where Dean is all geeking out.
The person in the morgue.
Yes.
The morgue lady, and
Yeah,
he's
the
all
one who wants to
geeking
go
out
to
about
beauty school.
all the Western guys.
Yes.
The cowboys. That's
Alcohol,
the word.
man.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Anyhow, but then on her headphones, as They Call Me Zombie, it's very catchy. It's just a little catchy tune. It's not a classic rock song at all.
But it's what she was listening to.
Yeah, it's what she was listening to. So I just think,
Yeah.
And then there's one that Claire listens to, and I can't remember what that one is, but she has it in her headphones too. That was really pretty catchy. And I think it was when she actually ends up getting bit and becoming a werewolf for a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm. Oh gosh, what is it? I have to know. It's a moral imperative.
Yeah.
While you search, I also thought it was interesting that they kind of throw in some like modern pop music or
Yes.
other music randomly. Like there's one scene in an episode, and I didn't write it down. I'm a big fan of Hosier for anybody who like knows me on a daily
Yes.
basis.
Yes.
And I was looking through this list, and I was like, oh, Take Me to Church. Like obviously, because that's like the one song everybody knows. And I was like,
yeah.
what episode was that in? And as I was looking, I realized it was a song that was playing on the radio while these teenagers are driving in the car. And it would have been, one of those top 10 songs in 2015 when it came out. So there's like a moment with that, or like when Crowley has Baby Got Back as his ringtone.
Yes.
And again, with like Taylor Swift just being on the radio, there's a few things that they do every once in a while to kind of just, even though, it's these two guys who dress in sort of a timeless way, and they drive this classic car and they listen to classic rock, that they're still in today's time. It's still the year that we're in. They still do things to place. Are you guys finding it?
Make Me Want to Die.
Make Me Want to Die.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I love that band that I'm blanking on the name of right now. The Reckless.
The Pretty Reckless?
Pretty Reckless.
Hey.
Thank you.
My favorite thing about the Pretty Reckless is that the lead singer of that is the same girl who played Cindy Lou Who in the Jim Carrey Grinch.
I did not know that.
That little girl
That's
is the lead
so
singer.
Cindy Lou.
Yep.
Yeah. Who wears like nothing and lots of black eyeliner.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
And is a great singer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, she's great. But that song was a great choice, and it's perfect because it's very Claire.
Yeah.
And I think, kind of to your point, Dawn, that they build this world of the Winchesters with their music, but they don't deny the world of everyone else.
Oh,
right?
sure. Walking on Sunshine, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like Charlie, that's her vibe, right? And Claire has her music, and then Garth comes in with Belle Biv DeVoe, and and then just when they're in the world, the music playing over the speakers isn't always and I feel like you don't always get that in a lot of shows, because most shows the music is very much just like
the show
of the time. And like trying to capture the vibe. Like, the first show that comes to mind is something like Vampire Diaries. They've got a particular vibe to showcase that's not so much the musical style, but more of just that, like, sexy vampires and whatever. And
Whatever.
Don't get me wrong, I like the Vampire
They
Diaries.
were sexy vampires, though. I mean, they really were.
Hey, if it works, it works. But even the music, just like in establishments, like in the background, is still kind of in that vibe, right? Whereas
it's still
with Supernatural, yeah, exactly. Whereas with Supernatural, they really thought about like, okay, at this dive bar, they're probably going to be playing
the environment they're actually in,
listening to, and
Bobby,
when they're in this building,
we can't have a music episode without naming Kenny Rogers, the gambler.
Oh yeah,
for Bobby, so iconic.
Oh, my favorite thing ever is a post from years and years ago that somebody put up where they were watching that episode and they had subtitles on, and it had the music and it said, "You've got to know when to hold them," and then Bobby says "balls" at the exact same time. And so anytime I hear that song or I watch that episode, I immediately think of that. You got to know when to hold them. Balls.
That's funny. Well, I think it's time we probably need to wrap this up. But,
yeah, I think this conversation could go on.
We could talk about music for a long, long time.
A very long time.
Yeah. Well, Ray, thank you. Arm. Thank you so much for joining us. That's been awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Loved it.
Any opportunity to talk nonstop, and especially about Supernatural and music, it's perfect.
Well, we'll have you back again for sure. So what we usually do at the end of our episodes, we rate our drinks. So would you like to rate your blue raspberry Smirnoff there?
Yes, my red, white, and berry Smirnoff Ice, which I just grabbed on a lark, was actually pretty good. Okay. Don't taste the alcohol, which is the main necessary thing for me. And sweet little blue raspberry drink. So
right. That's
I give it I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Wow.
Excellent.
We only go up to 4, but sure.
What would that be out of 4, Dawn?
Oh, well.
That's a great question. I have no idea.
I look forward to meeting you in Nashville. I'm excited.
Yes,
absolutely.
See you.
It's so awesome to see you guys.
Yeah.
And to do a slight shameless plug, we've talked a lot about my music, but I will be there with my dad, and I have a business called From the Dave Cave that we're working on that does a lot of 3D printed things, and we've been making a lot of Supernatural stuff, and so we'll be there selling that and music. So
do you have a link for your business?
Yes. It's fromthedavecave.com.
Okay. And SPN Perspectives, look her up on Spotify.
Yes.
Extremely talented, and I hope that we do get to hear a lot more of your music soon. Thanks for joining us, Ray.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I love the fact that we sat beside each other at that movies, and then this happened.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Perfect. Worked out.
Are
Dawn
we going to
and
rate this?
let's, did we didn't clink
think
our
we
empty
did.
glasses. No, we didn't.
Jenny doesn't remember.
We didn't.
I think you guys clinked.
Roll
I
the
didn't.
tape.
I did not because I didn't have anything in my glass.
What did we think about the taste of our Boulevardier?
I loved it.
I was
It's this
surprised.
little
I liked
glass,
it.
like, just amplifies.
Isn't it cute little
makes it
glass?
a little better.
I feel like I would sit down with Steve Carlson and Jensen Ackles
And have a
have a
Boulevardier?
little Boulevardier.
You would ask them to put a little sugar in yours.
I would have to. Well, Jensen could just put his finger in it, sweeten it up.
Nasty.
Honestly, I'd be willing to sit there and drink it with them, even if it was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my life. Let's be honest.
Recidity.
While you're playing euchre.
Yep. While we're
Did you
playing
get to try
euchre.
it?
Yep.
Yes. I said I was surprised. I liked it.
Oh, excellent.
And maybe it was because there was simple syrup in it.
Yeah. Yep.
I think the match, as far as how well it matches, works out.
Well, it does, especially because it is a lyric in the song of Radio Company. Now, we didn't specifically talk about Radio Company or Loudon Swain or Jason Manns or the Station Breaks or Dick Jr. and the Volunteers. And that's
Or
because...
Brianna. Or Billy.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to approach them in Nashville and ask
So this is post Nashville.
if any of them will be on our podcast. So you'll know the results later
Next year.
next year. Don't set your expectations too high.
I think it would be super great to have them.
I mean, we
I might
interviewed
talk like Jenny blah, 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 the whole time.
we interviewed Matt Cohen, and we're going to be interviewing him again.
Well, that's because Matt Cohen just talks a lot and he can't help it. So we just had to be like,
him.
"Hi, Matt," and he's like, "Let me tell you 1,000 things."
I love him.
This was super easy to make. It
Yes.
could not have been easier.
No.
I
Except
mentioned
for just opening a beer like we did for Garth. Maybe it was easier.
also true. If you wanted to mocktail this,
Yes.
so you could do a non-alcoholic bourbon. That is a thing that exists. The Vermouth is a fermented wine, so you could do like a white grape juice kind of thing to get that version. Aperol is citrusy and a little bit bitter, so you might try, I think like a pineapple juice actually would be a good substitute.
Better than an
for
orange
that.
juice, probably.
I think so, because orange juice would be too strong. You want something that's kind of got that like bite, but not too strong. So yeah, I think you could mocktail it pretty easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
I just threw that together right now. Let me just tell you that.
12. I got all of them.
This got a full
We'll have to,
spread.
I'm going to have to buy Steve's autograph now so I can talk to him and tell him that we made
Boulevardier?
this. Yeah.
We don't drink before you say it so you can say it.
Okay. I don't usually drink at the conventions.
I know.
But maybe I should start.
You only drink on the podcast.
Yeah, it's true. I only do.
On the other hand, I do not. I had to buy more vermouth for this, and she was like, "What?"
I actually used it.
We do actually drink cocktails at my house,
know.
just cause we like it.
I just had to buy a new
Fancy.
bottle of rum after a year of podcasts.
Oh my gosh! Thank you again, Ray, for joining us.
Yes.
This has been great.
Oh, thank you so much.
Teresa, for being here.
Yes. Awesome.
Thanks, Jenny, for all of your fun cocktail ideas.
I know. I'm insane. All right. So, all right, we'll wrap this up. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. This is coming out, I think, really close to Thanksgiving. So,
Oh,
we'll
excellent! You
say
can,
Happy Thanksgiving.
yeah, maybe have a Boulevardier with your turkey and dressing.
Yeah, it could go well.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a great day.